Hi, everyone. So, you know how we all do this thing, whether we know it or not? We all do this thing. And if you're like an empath, an empathic type of person, then it's even worse. What am I talking about? Right? What is this guy talking about? I'm talking about how we usually carry all this weight with us over our shoulders for a good portion chunk of our lives sometimes for the whole duration of it. Because of the bad habit of looking back and carrying all these past, perhaps burdens, grudges, hurt feelings, broken hearts, you name it, the list goes on, right? This is what we do. If you were to picture that somehow, it'd be like you have this huge, you know, backpack on your back. And this thing has gotten so big and so heavy that the load at points becomes overwhelming. And you will know when this happens because you will feel it. And then perhaps that'll be the day you realize it's time to lighten the load. You don't need to carry all that stuff with you. You never had to do that. You just felt attached to some of these things, some of these memories, some of this pain, all of that grief, all of the disappointments, all of the wrongdoings, bad decision making, you name it. So, yeah, this is what we all do. This is what all of us do throughout the span of our lives. And I'm here today to remind you kindly that you don't have to do that. You chose to do it for whatever reason. I don't know the reasons you do, though. I mean, I know the reasons why I did this for myself, to myself, for a good chunk of my life, until I realized, why am I doing this to myself? You don't have to do this. You see, there will come a point where hopefully we all realize these things and then we understand that the things that happen, whatever they were, however they happened due to many reasons. But it just had to be that way. However it was, they were just life lessons and experiences and things of that nature that we all chose to go through. The tricky part is that we don't have a memory, a recollection of all these choices that we made for ourselves before we came here, right? That's how the game is meant to be played. The game has rules, and when we choose to do this, and it's totally voluntary, trust me on that. We can deny it all we want, but this whole thing, it's a voluntary thing. We choose to come here, and then we choose to go through so many different things. It was a choice. Nothing was ever forced. So we have we have we have two choices here. We get to choose if we want to play the victim for the rest of our lives and blame everything under the sun about whatever didn't go right, the things that went wrong, the heartbreaking experiences, the failures, the all of these things that we do to ourselves, right? Or we can choose to let go of these things and just move on with our lives. So what is the clear winner here in this choice? Do we really want to keep carrying all that weight on our backs? And even feeling sometimes as if we have the whole weight of the world on our shoulders because of our nature. Many people are fortunate enough not to feel that way. Those are the lucky ones. Sometimes it's better to stay sleeping than wake up. I'll tell you that much. Right? But once you wake up from this dream, you can never go back. That's the thing. There's just no way to go back to be the way you were before. Because that old version of you, it no longer exists. It transformed it into something else. It's just like when the caterpillar goes into its cocoon phase and then turns into a butterfly. Once it turns into a butterfly and it's capable of flying and doing all these beautiful, wonderful things that the caterpillar could never dream of doing it, you can't go back to your old form. That'll never happen. It's a pipe dream that'll never happen. So just keep that in mind, okay? when when you choose to wake up from all of these things and finally become to have some sort of self-realization, you're gonna learn that you can't go back. You just can't. So the only choice from that point forward is just to move on. Know and understand that it's okay to let go. It's actually way more beneficial to you than to not to do that. It's what we all do to some degree or another. It's how we were trained and educated how to live our own lives. It's the way this realm, this system, this place was designed for. It's all in the mind. Sometimes our minds can be our stronger allies or our fiercest enemies, right? That's how the mind works. And until we learn how to tame it and use it properly, it can be rough. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's all, flowers and rainbows. On the contrary, I know how it is. I lived through a lot of that stuff. I know it from personal experience. I'm not talking from a place of unknowing here. This fly is really annoying, but that's okay though. So, yeah, this is what I'm here to remind you of. Remember, you don't have to carry all that weight. That's not your job, that's not your problem. We can't fix the world, my friends. No matter how good and powerful our intentions are on a personal level, it cannot be done by a single individual, a single person. So keep that in mind. We didn't come here to fix the world. We came here to find ourselves again, learn how to help ourselves out of this dreaming state of not knowing things and not understanding the nature of reality itself and all that goes with it. So that we can finally return to ourselves and who we truly are, our real nature. We're all in this together. And the only way we can get out of this is also by being together. And until that day comes, if it ever does, right? We may never know, perhaps, because our lifespans are pretty short, generally speaking, even compared to some other animal species that also inhabit this realm. You know, there are many other animals out there outside of the human realm that live longer lives than we do. Heck, there are trees out in this realm that are thousands of years old. They've been here for a long time. If we could talk to these trees, reconnect with them on the level that would allow us to actually communicate with them, and that is totally possible, by the way, it would be so astounding and mind-blowing to learn and receive all the wisdom and knowledge that these wonderful beings have to give us if we reach the level where we are capable of receiving such amazing and powerful information, right? You can call me crazy. I don't care. I don't really care. I know this to be true. It's actually factual. Every living being on this realm has an essence, a spiritual essence of some sort. That essence is pretty similar, if not almost identical, to the soul that we have. And that's some deep stuff right there. let that let that sink in, you know? So stop carrying all that weight. It's time to lighten that load, don't you think? I think it's overdue. I think it's finally time to do that. Get rid of all that luggage, all that emotional baggage you've been carrying around for only God knows how long, based on how long you've been here. We all do this. We all do this because of our upbringing and the way that we are raised and the way everything is in this realm. Most of us do this for a very long time, if not for the whole entirety of it, like I said. But once you realize that you have a choice, and that the best choice for your own well-being and for all the wonderful possibilities that exist is to let go of all that stuff. You don't need that. Whatever happened, all the things that happen, and even the things that are probably yet to come, it's all by design. None of this stuff happens by chance. None of this stuff is random, like they want everybody to believe. It's all by design. That's how this realm works. And that's how the learning and the experiences occur. That's how the spirit evolves. That's how it works. That's it. There's nothing complicated about it. There are lots of people that like to talk about this subject and they like to embellish and use all this glamour, make all this big deal out of it when it's truly very simple in its own nature. That's how it works. So the clear winning here would be to, stop carrying the weight. Lighten your own load. You're going to feel so much better for it. Perhaps you're going to finally begin to understand and learn what true happiness and joy actually mean. Because we live our own lives chasing these things outside of ourselves without realizing that it's always been within our reach. Matter of fact, it's a part of us. It lives within us. All right, fly, go away. Right? That's how it works, my friends. So, this is really all I have to talk about and share today with you all. Today is my second day of my fasting, and so far I'm feeling okay. Usually the second day is the worst. At some point you get some sort of headache or something. The body always reacts to these things, Nothing to be worried about it though. I've done this before. I know how it works. So there's that for that. All right. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your days and, stop carrying the weight. You never had to do that to begin with. We just do this to ourselves because of how everything is and because we don't know any better until we figure it out or something or someone comes along to nudge us and show us, hey, you don't need to do that. Why do you keep doing that? Stop it. Right? So with that said, if you like the channel, don't forget to leave a like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. It helps the channel grow, and that's why I do these things. And I will catch you all on the next time. So until then, be safe and take care of yourselves. And I'll catch you next time.